Pippin, Pippin, I stick thee there. That's, 'tis true, thou mayest stick there.
Jo, what on earth is going on?
Well, don't you know it's Halloween in 3 days, Soph?
Yes.
Well, it's the time when witches and ghosties are out and about and ordinary folk look into their future. Well, that's what it says here anyway.
What are these pips for, Jo?
Oh, yeah, well, that's an ancient tradition I've just been looking up. See, what you do is you stick them on your face. Each one stands for a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Last one to fall off represents the one you will marry.
Ah.
Shall we try it?
Yeah, OK.
Go on
Here we
then.
are.
Not on my face, Sophie. Stop it.
There
I don't
we are.
want any on my...
Right, see if it works.
None will stay on me. Look. See?
Jo, you've got one left. Who's that?
Joe's got a girlfriend. I haven't got a girlfriend. I'm not going to get married. Get it off.
Oh, Jo, surely you don't believe in all that rubbish about witches and ghosties, do you?
Of course not.
It's all silly. Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, thanks, Steve.
Well, it's a letter from Nasima Emma Khan from Manchester. She wants to know, why do we still celebrate Halloween? Who invented it and what is it all about? Well, we know that one, Jo, don't we? Because Halloween is a very ancient festival traditionally associated with witches and goblins and ghouls. And about 1,000 years ago, the church started getting a bit worried about people being frightened by all this spookiness. So they decided to attach it to the next day, November the 1st, which is called All Hallows Day, All Saints Day. And so it became known as All Hallows Eve, or Halloween. And so people could have a really good time without being frightened by it.
And a part of every Halloween are pumpkin lanterns. And Daniel Sleeth wants to know why. Well, pumpkins are more popular in America than they are here. And what they do is they get their pumpkin and they take the middle out of it. And with that, they make pumpkin pie, which I hear tastes very nice. And then they cut an ugly face into the front, stick a candle in it, and put it in a windowsill, so that when anybody looks in, they see this scary face looking out. Now, in England, years ago, when people used to go out on Halloween night, they were called guisers, which is short for disguisers, because they used to dress up as we do today. And they used to carry these pumpkin lanterns to help them see in the dark and to frighten people. Now, in the West Country, they still take their punkies very seriously, and Halloween is punky night, when the children wander around the village knocking on doors, singing an eerie tune. It's punky night tonight. Give us a candle, give us a light, because if you don't, we'll give you a fright.
Here's a candle.
Joe, you nearly gave me a heart attack.
Sorry.
Well, one of the nicest things about Halloween is you get lots of nice things to eat, like toffee apples. Cynthia, do you want some? No? Not hungry? Oh, well. Cynthia, in fact, isn't a spooky Halloween skeleton at all, because she's here to answer bone questions that we've had from Keston Junior School in Old Coulsdon. And we kick off with Sian Hexton.
How many bones have you got in your body?
180!
Yes, Steve, very funny. Buzz off.
Cheers.
In fact, he's almost right, because if you count the skull as just one bone, there are approximately 180 main bones in the body. Next question from Colin Dawson.
Which is the last bone in our body to stop growing?
Well, Colin, it is the hip bone, which is this bone here, and probably because it's one of the biggest bones in the body, I'd say. Now, where's that remote control? Oh, cheers, Cynthia. Right, fire away, Alex Taylor.
Well, recently, our teacher, Miss Bean, slipped a disc in her back. And what causes a slip disc, and why can't she bend over?
Well, that is a very good question, Alex. Now, the correct medical terminology for a slip disc is a prolapsed invertebral disc lesion, and Cynthia and I will attempt to explain what that means. If you have a look at Cynthia's backbone, you can see that it's made up from a series of vertebrae which are stacked on top of each other, and most of the rest of the bones of the body hang from it, and it makes us balance very well. But what you can't see on Cynthia is that in between each vertebra there's a disc, and it's made of some soft fibrous tissue, and it acts as a cushion or a shock absorber. But sometimes when the spine is jarred or bent very suddenly, like for example bending over too quickly, the disc pushes out of place, and it pushes into the spinal canal and hits the spinal nerve, which is represented by this pink thing here, and it hurts like mad. And so I reckon the reason why Miss Bean can't bend over is because it hurts too much. But I've looked up some remedies for her, in my book, and I found out that she can do a number of things to relieve the pain. She can have massage, or she can have osteopathy to get the disc back into place, or she could wear a corset for a couple of months, or she could go to bed for 2 weeks, which I think is much the best remedy, don't you?
Hey, Cynthia, what do you call a skeleton that does nothing?
I don't know. What do you call a skeleton that does nothing?
Lazy bones. She's a bundle of laughs, isn't she? Right. Now, since Sophie and Steve don't seem to be around at the moment, I think I'm going to answer a question for a change. Now, I've got one on hats somewhere. Where's it gone? Hat
Jo, is this what you're looking for?
Oh, thanks a lot, Sophie.
There you are, bye.
Hello? What's she wearing? Something's going on about here. Anyway, Samantha Morgan says, who invented hats? English bowler and top hat and the American cowboy hat. Well, Samantha, very interesting question. First of all, cowboy hats. Now, cowboy hats...
Yee-haw! Howdy, partner. Well, ma'am, the American cowboy hat was invented by John B. Stetson, and that's how it gets its name. And it's damn good for keeping the sun off my head. I can dip it in one and give my little horsey a drinky. Well, I hope that answers your question, ma'am. Cheerio! Away, summer! Yee-hoo!
Yes, thank you, Steve. Anyway, about top hats and bowler hats. Now, this is a bowler hat. Very, hat-like. It's sort of round, and it's sort of black.
Jo, leave the questions to the experts, please.
Ooh, what have you come as, then?
Hats, hats. These are the facts about the medieval hat. From France it came in 1430. 'Twas 2 or 3 feet at the back. This lady's attire was strengthened with wire, had veils at the back for all to admire. 'Twas called the hennin and was higher than any other hat.
Excuse me, young lady, I'm just about to get married. Hat, these are the facts about the top hat. Covered in silk or hatter's plush, it's a P-O-S-H, posh hat. In 1798, John Hetherington developed it, everybody's favourite. Special occasion hat. Oh, no.
Hats, hats, these are the facts about the old bonnet. In the early 1800s, every girl was wearing it. Had all this fancy hullabaloo. You tied it up with a ribbon too. The shape protected your hairdo. For the wind and the rain and that.
Excuse me. Hats, these are the facts about the bowler hat. Made of hard silk with a thin brim, it's a city gentleman's hat. 'Twas in the 1870s that a Mr. Bowler invented the hat. Funny name, really. Had an umbrella and a newspaper for the perfect bureaucrat. Good day.
Hats, hats, these are the facts about the cloche hat. In the 1920s, everyone wore a close-fitting hat. Ladies desired a mysterious air. It was all the rage to have short hair. You pulled your hat right down there for society parties and that.
Hats, these are the facts about the straw bow tie. They say it came from Luton, up in sunny Bedfordshire. It was made of gold and plaited straw. Our ribbon was also popular. In the 19th century, everyone wore the sunny summer hat. Hey! I say.
So that was what it was all about, eh? Well, you'll be glad to know, everybody, that I've decided...